And we are live. Welcome back to the Battle and Develop podcast. We're here to talk about everything games. I'm Funky, and we're diving in with our guest today. It's going to be Bora from San Diego. Hey, Bora, how you doing?
I can't remember the fact that you just said Funky.
Yeah, I get to change my name every time.
It's not even Funky anymore.
It's not Funky. It's going to be Funky. It's going to be Funkadelic. It's going to be Funk. It's going to be Finn. I'm going to switch it up every time. Today it's Funky.
Gosh.
Just call me Funky, and we'll be fine.
Right,
Look, I'm a man with many names. I've grown up with many names. I've gone by Kenneth, Ken, Kennera, Skip, Red, all of that stuff. You know what I mean?
I'm proud of you.
Like, I have a history. I almost respond to everything. I just know if you're talking to me. You know what I mean? Anyway, welcome to our first online podcast. So, Bort, do you want to get us started with a topic, or shall I shoot from the hip for you?
I will let you take the charge on your own podcast.
So I'm in charge. All right. So
yeah, I don't want to upset your rule or anything.
I have no rules. There's a couple, when I do these podcasts, I think of a couple of topics that I think might be interesting to kind of talk about. And they're not necessarily for the podcast. They're more like conversation pieces I just want to have. Like, for example, the last podcast we did with Gennifer, I just really wanted to talk about her new gaming experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it worked out well, most of the conversations that we have are always really interesting. So Why not record, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I will say it is kind of weird because we were literally just talking about stuff. Yeah. And now the only difference is that we've talked about stuff and now we're recording.
Hey, well, we still got plenty of stuff to talk about. Right now, I have a couple of things I want to hit up on, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But
lay them on me.
So the big thing I want to ask for is, how is your gaming experience? We found out all about Jennifer's gaming experience recently. How has your gaming experience?
We're immediately going into this. Okay, you little cobgoblin. You guys calling me out in the last podcast. I was listening to that, and you're just like, yeah, anything that drags me away from gacha games, I'm okay with it. I'm just like, I don't play that many gacha games. And then I looked at all of the games that I play. Genshin Impact, Fate Grand Order, and Puzzles and Dragons. They're all gacha games.
Yeah, you're dirty gacha player now.
I had to really think about it. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You are nothing but a dirty gacha.
I have a problem.
You're going to make a gacha game, too. So, you can't even escape. You're trapped in this endless gacha.
Look, man, I don't even know if it's going to be a gacha game. It depends on whether or not the model works for the kind of game that it is. It might be, because, at this point, I'm a slave to it, and, we all know. All my gambling addicts, where you at?
So, Genshin Impact. I did not play that game. I was told to play that game by Ryan, of course.
Who, by the way, does not play at all.
Yeah. I was told by Ryan. He told me it was the game of the year. You know what I mean?
I would not say so.
So you're going to have to fill me in on how this game actually runs and how this gacha works. You know what I mean? Why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown on Genshin Impact?
I would say it's like if they just took Breath of the Wild, gave it a more anime... God, that is such a weird thing to say. Gave it a more anime-esque facelift, because, it's Legend of Zelda. It's already pretty Japanese. Boy, how do I describe it?
Well, more not describe the game, but how was your experience with it? Were you pretty hardcore about it? How much money did you spend in a gacha like that? You know what I mean? Comparatively to Pad, because we know how bad you were in Pad. The viewers won't know that unless you want to confess.
It was not. I don't think I've spent anything close to Pad lately. Yeah, no. But Pad was 3 years of just me having a job.
All right. Do you want to confess how much you spent on Pad? Yes or no?
I'm I'm not gonna say any numbers, but it may have been maybe 2 digits, maybe 3 digits, maybe 4 digits. Don't think about it. Don't think about it too much.
Okay, so
Look,
basically, he spent a lot of money on Pad. So what I want to know is with Genshin Impact, with Pad, it almost felt like you had to. You know what I mean?
You didn't really have to.
There were just a lot of characters in Pad. You know what I mean? And there was always a new character that was OP, so you would always want to roll. But with Genshin Impact, because it's a bigger game and it's harder to like kind of build characters around it, I assume it comes out slower. So they fill it out with like those items that I hear about, you know what I mean? So you don't only have to be grinding for characters or rolling for characters, but you have to be rolling for items.
You're not just rolling for characters; you're rolling for weapons, and it's the gacha system in Genshin is better in places, but it's much worse in other places.
So like, basically breaks out as even as Pad was for you.
It's about even, yeah. Like I think that having the guaranteed pity is nice because let me put it this way.
See, that's the thing. The guaranteed pity only happens if you had spent enough money to get the pity.
Yes, but look. I will not confess the number, but what was it? 2 years ago for Rush's first banner in Fate, I put in enough money to get about 2 pity pulls in Genshin, and I did not get her. I was so mad.
Wow. Well,
yeah, it was a bad time. But then I had just played I had just gotten through the story in Babylonia, and I mean Arash she's best girl. She's probably my favorite character in the entire series at this point.
Well, let me probe a little harder, okay? How about this? How much do you have to spend to at least make use of this pity system?
In Genshin?
Yes.
It's 90 pulls. To okay.
Is it 90 pulls equals $90? Is that what you're telling me?
It's 90 pulls for a pity 5-star guaranteed. You are more likely to get it within like 70 or so. And then if you don't get the featured banner on that pull, then the next one is guaranteed to be the banner unit.
Okay.
So you could guess as to how much each pull costs, roughly.
Okay. So give me like the average price of a 90 pull. That's what
I'm telling. I want you to guess. How much do you think it is?
I'm thinking $70 for a 90 pull.
Wow, you are a sweet summer child. All my gacha addicts out there, you're just like, man, I wish it were $70 for 90 pull. It's roughly $2 per pull, roughly.
Oh, jeez.
However, if you have the first purchase option, there is a sale. It's essentially like a double your crystals for your money, so it's about $100 for 90 pull for your very first one. They're drug dealers, is what I'm trying to say.
So you're around what, $150 to $200 to get the pity,
roughly. Yeah.
Dang, like there's a lot of things you could do with $150. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're not doing any of them right now.
What are you talking about? I'm saving up for snowboarding. I gotta get this motorcycle.
I leave the house like once a month. Maybe.
Hey, you wanted to go snowboarding too. I like how this is a gaming podcast, but we're going to talk about all the real life things like I want to do.
What are you talking about? We're literally talking about gacha systems. This is as gaming as it gets.
But I mean, it's just
There's
like
nothing more relevant right now than gacha systems.
So
everyone's doing them.
So here's the question. We're in 2021. I'm going to let you pass. We don't need to know what you're doing in 2020 and how you helped yourself out, during the pandemic. But this is 2021 now. How much are you realistically going to spend on gacha systems?
Look, man, the most poignant thing I saw regarding gacha games is that the way they describe it is not like you don't pull for power, you don't pull for meta, you pull for love.
For love.
Man, you just love these characters.
You
and
love
want
these
them.
characters. How much more characters do you have to fall in love with? That's the real question.
Here's the thing. Like, I am not, like, super crazy about the meta anymore, because most of the gacha games, they're actually good enough that you can play the game without spending money or even rolling. Like, there's a lot of people who do, like, free-to-play challenges, and they showcase that it's not that hard. It takes time, it takes, you know, a little bit of calculations, but you can do it. But, like, as an example, in Genshin, I did not really care about getting Venti until I did his story mission. And I was just like, all right, I guess
I gotta pull Venti now.
I guess I gotta pull for best boy.
Oh, best boy. The best trap, you mean?
Best boy. He's best boy. He's so... Oh, man.
All right. How about take on this question then, Bora? Give me a game that you're looking forward to in 2021 that isn't a gacha game.
Ring Fit Adventure. Yeah, baby. What's up? Have you heard the rumors about the new Super Switch or the Switch Pro or whatever it's going to be called?
I mean, they're just rumors. Nintendo is really, they hold stuff to the hip. You know what I mean? They're really good. Like, leakers, they think they got something on Nintendo, but they never do. You know what I mean? Like, no one expected that Paper Mario game to come out of nowhere.
I mean, to be fair, no one expected Paper Mario to be good.
Yeah, either. No one expected, like, Smash to come out when it did. No one gets it with Nintendo. You know what I mean? And they're so good. I don't know how they do it at holding secrets. And it's maybe because we're kind of spoiled by, like, game companies these days, because they do the teaser, like, 2 years in advance. Like, we hear about Cyberpunk, like, 2 years in advance. And then you wait a year, and there's another teaser. It's like, ooh, you keep hearing about it here and there. But with Nintendo, it's just like, oh, here's our game. It'll be out in 3 months. Get ready. You know what I mean?
Because Nintendo doesn't need the help. They know what they're doing.
But is that really helpful for game companies to do it like that? To tease little bits?
For certain things, it is good for them to...
build momentum like that?
Build momentum, build hype, and kind of get the word out and just be like, oh, did you hear about this presentation? Did you see all this thing? It doesn't look so cool. But Nintendo was just like, well, I mean, you're all suckers. You're going to buy it anyway.
You're all suckers.
Yeah, you're all suckers. You're going to buy it anyway. You look in the mirror. You see a sucker. You know.
So you would purchase a Switch Pro if it came out?
I would, actually, yeah. I mean, the only reason I haven't bought a Switch by now is because... of the rumors. If there is a new Switch, then I'd rather get the new one rather than getting the old one, because, I mean, why?
Well, that's good to hear. Are you going to do what I did to get my Switch? Because I waited at a Best Buy, you know what I mean, until midnight opening.
I was with you then!
Yeah. Are you going to do that, buddy?
I brought you food!
You brought me food. I don't think you stayed, though.
I did! I was there with you! How dare you? I've never seen you on a line for a midnight release ever again. You literally walked out and you were talking about, like, man, wouldn't it be funny if I just took this thing and just smashed it on the ground in front of everyone?
Oh, no. I would never be so evil. So what I'm asking, though, is are you going to do it by yourself? Because I'm no longer there. You know what I mean?
I'll think about it. If they have it, you know what? Probably, yeah.
Probably? You'd wait? I mean, I'll be with you on the camp floor, you know what I mean? We can, like, vid-chat each other, you know what I mean?
Oh, God, disgusting.
Well, you know what's the good news is, like, everybody in that line is going to have a Switch, so you can, like, play Switch games while you're there. Except for you, of course, who has nothing.
Yeah,
you should have commandeered Randall's Switch, you know what I mean? He went back to Cambodia with it, like, what is he going to do with it there?
Probably playing Smash every day or something.
Oh, no.
Cussing people out. I don't know.
So you want to get a Switch, and what? The most anticipated game is a game that you've already played? You're not looking forward to anything new in 2021?
I guess Breath of the Wild 2, but other than that, I don't think I've heard too much news about anything too exciting. I don't know. Is there anything coming out?
Well, I'm talking about just games that you feel like excited about. Yeah, like yeah, you can be excited for Breath of the Wild too, because there's rumors, and rumors means like there's a chance. You know what I mean? So it might come out this year. You might also see the Pokemon game get more of the highlight. You know what I mean?
I was about to say, man, I'm so excited to get that DLC for Minecraft Steve to get into Smash, but I'm like, wait, that actually happened.
Yeah. You predicted that. I did not predict that. I mean, I was very skeptical. I thought Steve wasn't enough of a character to make it into Smash. That was always my argument.
I'm gonna be honest, I did think that Master Chief had a bigger chance, but I mean, they are both pretty big highlights of the gaming community at this point. So it's not surprising that they got in. It's just it's surprising that it happened in this timeline.
Well, at this point, I'm actually wouldn't be surprised if Master Chief still makes it in, because if Microsoft is willing to put in like Steve, because that's their property now, I assume, right? And they're willing to work with Nintendo, then I'm pretty sure like they would want Master Chief in it, especially with their new Halo game, like rumored to come out maybe this year or by the end of or start of 2022. So I think
no, there's Minecraft on Switch, isn't there?
Yeah, Minecraft's on Switch, but you know what I mean. Just
low on Switch, right?
Like, there's still a chance. You know what I mean.
That's the question. Is there any representation from a non-Nintendo title? Because like the most surprising thing is like Square Enix, but Square Enix has been on Nintendo for a while now.
Yeah, I don't know if Crash Bandicoot was ever on Nintendo, so like it'd be. Wait, what about Banjo-Kazooie? Was Banjo-Kazooie ever on Nintendo system?
I would double check, but I'm lazy. So I don't know.
Yeah, so like it's made by Rareware, which I think they used to work for them.
Neo Geo is not Nintendo, right? Or is it?
I'm not too sure.
Because Terry. That's a good question. I do not remember.
No, I'm pretty sure Terry has been in a Nintendo title though.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember any of these things.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm holding out. You know what I mean? How many more characters we got? We got three more characters, right?
Who are we hoping for? No, we got...
Or two. Is it 3 or 2?
It's 2, right? Who
two
did
left?
we get?
Well, we got Steve. We got,
Sephiroth. We got someone else? Who am I forgetting?
I don't know. Min Min? I thought Min Min was the additional, so there's 5 left. Right? Here, I'll take a look. Smash DLC.
Between where we're just researching. Just to make us look good.
Okay, so... Yeah, the first pass was done, and then the second pass so far, is Min... Because it's 6 people there, right?
Oh, right, it is 6 people this
Yeah,
one.
instead of 5. So we got Min Min as the 6th person, and you got Steve, and you got Sephiroth. So I'm pretty sure 3 more left, unless I'm really forgetting someone.
Yeah. I just forgot that it's we're doing another 6 round instead of a 5.
Yeah. So it's exciting, like
Excuse me.
still like a lot of people it could be, and you just gotta look forward to it. I mean. That's another thing. Like, did you even like Smash that much to like really go like, yeah, I'm looking forward to Smash as my big gaming moment of 2021? You know what I mean? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I mean, well, dude, I almost got a Switch just for Smash.
Oh my God, you're gonna be a Smash Pro now.
What do you mean a Smash Pro? Jesus,
you're gonna try to beat me? Are you gonna beat me a lot?
How far down am I on the tier list if I play Toon Link?
You're not that bad, but he's considered the worst Link. That's the problem. You know what I mean? Toon Link's got some bad rap.
Look, the biggest thing is that I don't really know how to play Toon Link. He's actually kind of technical with all the projectiles, and I'm not very good at micro.
Well, there's always different play styles. Like, there's a lot of, like, people who play super aggressive and go for a lot more, like, nairs and, aerial attacks, where there's a lot of people who like to play in neutral and, like, kind of focus on like keeping distance and whittling down the opponent's percent. So you really just got to discover the playstyle that you like. But that comes from like playing Smash a lot.
You know my playstyle. Throw projectiles from across the stage. Once you get close, I just use his speed to just book it, run to the other side of the stage, chuck more bombs and projectiles, and just keep running.
I don't know. What am I looking forward to? I'm
of the
looking
notch.
forward to, I'll probably play the Pokemon remake, Diamond Pearl. I'll play Pokemon Snap for the first time. I
Oh,
never.
right, Snap is coming out.
Yeah, and we got the teaser for that
You
too.
know what? I'm excited about that. I haven't played Snap
See,
since the
I
freaking
don't get it.
PS4.
I don't get Snap because snapping, like, it's just taking a picture of a Pokemon. So basically, all I'm gonna be doing is be looking at pretty cutscenes the whole time, right?
No. The whole thing about Snap. Well, I mean, you're not really much of a photographer, are you?
I'm not much of a photographer, and I've never played Pokemon Snap. Those are the two big things.
It's kind of the joy of like, oh, it's all these regular moments, and then you try to find or you try to manufacture these moments that are, cinematic or they're, photogenic.
Okay, but
So it is a kind of a specific thing for people to want to look for, but it's nice. If it's your kind of thing, then it's definitely something to look forward to.
I mean, every Pokemon fan's gonna buy it. There's like, Pokemon fans are screaming for like something out of the genre of the the classic Pokemon formula. You know what I mean? Like, so many of them scream for it. Like they're demanding a new Pokemon Stadium. Something like a Gale of Darkness or a Pokemon Coliseum, something like that to really shake up the formula. Because right now all we're doing is new games and reboots, and the new games are always like slightly disappointing. I'm not super disappointed just because I can play those games pretty easily and like turn off my brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not really thinking too much about it. But a lot of people, they're very like, it's very divisive on like, is it good? Is it bad?
Yeah.
And these remakes are just like, they're loved, but they're hated at the same time too. Because it's just like, why can't you?
More of the same.
Yeah, why can't you just give us like what we actually want? The Pokemon MMO that the whole world is waiting for.
Hey man, the Pokemon MMO came out already. It's called Pokemon Go, and you play it in real life.
Oh no.
Look, man, it is literally what a Pokemon MMO would be.
How's Pokemon Go been during
I have not
the
played.
pandemic? Oh really? You were an avid player of Pokemon Go, no?
Yeah, ever since quarantine started, I just haven't opened the game.
Wow. Yeah, they were really trying to encourage, and in fact, like, everybody was saying Pokemon Go was doing well during the quarantine, but I felt like that was always like a lie.
It's not a lie. It's doing well because they've modified the game enough so that it's not an issue to play it at home. Like, you don't need to go anywhere. Pokemon spawns are a lot more. They have remote raids. They have all this stuff. I was playing a little bit at the beginning of quarantine, but it just kind of fell off because, it's not the same.
Yeah, I think the appeal of Pokemon Go was just like, it was really just early. Like, I was an early adapter of Pokemon Go where we were just all running around like animals, and that was fun. But
it's the social aspect. You want to go out with people, finding Pokemon, fighting gyms and stuff like that.
But then, like, Pokemon Go, it was so close to being amazing, but then it almost felt like an incomplete game at the very beginning. That was the big issue. Like, it was fun to find Pokemon, but after you found the Pokemon, there was nothing to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, so you're out just searching for Pokemon, doing gym battles, and like taking over areas, but you couldn't really interact with other than, oh, I found this. What did you find in this same exact area? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's the exact same Pokemon because, that's how the spawns work.
Did you find the Dragonite that I found? Why can't you find this Dragonite, Jen?
Oh god, I'm disconnected. I ran out of batteries. Oh no, how terrible.
Pretty much.
They've definitely improved the game. I will say the PvP is the best update they ever had.
Oh.
It makes the game now.
Okay,
yeah, Pokemon battles were always kind of the highlight of Pokemon. Like, the competitive scene is kind of what it kept it like really afloat this entire time, kind of while the games are kind of languishing in mediocrity. I wish that the raids would be a little bit better to reflect the kind of complexity and interesting kind of battle mechanics of PvP, and I wish the PvP were a little bit better. It feels a little bit not clunky, but it feels like there's some missing or wasted potential that they could be working with. But I wholeheartedly accept the fact that they tried something and it worked, and I do think that the PvP is good.
Okay. But yeah, you know what my most anticipated game for Nintendo is?
Hmm.
It is Mario Kart 9.
I'm
I
leaving.
am I want
I don't want to
a
talk to you
Mario
anymore.
Kart.
I refuse. I don't know who you are. Get out of here.
Let me explain it.
You know what? At least you're not saying Mario Party.
Mario Party needs a little time under the sun. You know what I mean? It needs to think about itself in detention.
On its life decision.
Yeah, it needs to
went wrong.
It needs to sit and think about how much it hurts people and just really focus on that. But you know what? The brand that has always been great to me, has always been kind, and has always been fun for me, has always been Mario Kart. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm a multiplayer gamer, I always say that. You know what I mean? So it's always fun to play with Jen at Mario Kart. Because, you know, it's not too, like, hard to handle with Gennifer, but there's also, like, a nice completionist kind of effect with Mario Kart, where you always have to, you know, beat all the circuits in first place to get the triple gold stars in each area. And that's a nice, fun challenge because you got to do it in each CC. So not only is there a good length in Mario Kart for me, but there's also a chance for me to have fun with Gennifer, you know what I mean? So that's why I look forward to Mario Kart more than, say, Pokemon, because Pokemon, if we were to play Pokemon, I'd just be playing Pokemon on my own and say, hey, Jen, you want to have a battle? And then we're going to figure out, like, oh, it's pretty boring to battle unless we're both grinded to level 100, you know what I mean? Or playing on, you know, the Pokemon dual...
EV training.
Yeah, academy online, you know what I mean? So, like, Mario Kart, because it's so easy to just jump right in, you can play quick matches, you can play for a long time, you know, it's just magical, and, you know, I'm really excited for whatever new thing they throw in at 9, you know what I mean? Like, this time, like, in 8, they kind of focused more on, like, the driving and aesthetic aspects, but maybe we might see, like, some really cool item mix-ups in 9, or... you know, just something new, like custom carts. You never know, you know what I mean? Like, super custom, not like, you know, ooh, you get this paraglider, it makes you go faster. No, like, maybe, like, more, like, make your own kind of carts. So, I'm looking forward to it, you know? They came out with that, they came out with that live-action Mario Kart game, right?
I'm sorry, what? Oh, right, yeah. I forgot about that.
And that's really cool, and I really want to buy it, but the problem is, like, you need a lot of space for that. You know what I mean?
Your place. You don't have space for that.
Yeah. Like, you know, I live in a small apartment. Maybe if I have a family. So that kart game wasn't made for me. And I'm hoping that's not, like, the kart game, you know.
Just come on over. Come on my place. We've got a big empty room over there.
You know what I mean, though, right? Like, I think kart is a great game. Like, and, you know, it definitely is the reason, like, I bought the Switch with the kart bundle, you know. And I would not have had it any other way. It was definitely worth it.
Breath of the Wild bundle.
No, I bought Breath of the Wild, but I got it with the cart bundle.
Okay.
Yeah. It was yeah.
Since you sound so excited, I will let you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know my stance on racing games. I've always been absolute trash at them, which is why I don't like them at all. You know what? If 9 comes out and a Pro comes out, I'll get it and we can play.
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, Mario Kart, like, in the end, it's a fun game.
Last place, and I will throw blue shells at you the entire time. That's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah, in the end, it's a fun game. It's smartly designed. You know what I mean? Like, I've been playing, like, a couple of racing games in Penn Island, right? Recently, like, we play, like, stuff like Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit, or other games, and, you know, they're fun, like, racing games, but they don't feel as interactive as a Mario Kart game does, with the secret shortcuts, or, like, the, you know, the items and the, you know, the interactions with the other drivers. You know what I mean? Definitely, you definitely don't have that. You know what I'm hoping for an item in Mario Kart is, like, a bumper stopper on your cart. So, like, you start like some some tracks, like, you get bumpers on your cars and you can really give someone the good old shove. You know what I mean? That'd be pretty intense. So you, like, there's more incentive to ram your car into someone, because right now, if you
aren't those called shells?
No. Because, like,
your car.
Because with shells, you throw them either forward or you hold them behind your car in the current Mario Kart, and that's fun and all. But I'm talking about, like, someone's right next to you, right?
Yeah.
You know, give them a slam. You know what I mean? And like, what does that do? I want something interesting to happen if we like start slamming each other. You know, in Mario Kart Double Dash, you kind of had that effect with like the punching to the left and the right. But you know, I want something a little bit more. You know, something a little interesting.
You want the riders to just pull out like giant swords and guns and start just mid car combat for first place.
And I can trust Nintendo to do something fun. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna come up with a great mechanic.
We hope.
You know?
We hope.
I mean, yeah, we hope, but you know what? At least
something weird.
Yeah, at least they churn out something, you know, as opposed to like some of these games where they kind of just feel like the same old. You know what I mean? That's why I don't play a lot of like the new games that always come out.
I like how you say that, but we just talked about how Pokemon is exactly the same game over and over again.
Well, you know what? I will appreciate the newest Pokemon for like its wild area. That stuff was fun. That was awesome. Everything you hope for. You just wish there was more of it. You get more of it in the DLC, but then you go like, damn, I wish this whole game was this wild area. You know what I mean? Just like everything in the wild. You know what I mean? Just you wish. But I mean, it is what it is. I didn't think the new Pokemon game was bad. Like, it definitely was better than... I think Sun and Moon was the most disappointing Pokemon I've seen. Really? You know what I mean? Yeah, it was just way too much cutscenes. And although this one was cutscene heavy as well, the wild area definitely led to this, like, almost relief and breathing kind of section of the game. From
you mean like the just finding wild Pokemon?
Yeah, because like there's wild Pokemon like in like the regular areas, but the wild area is like that big kind of like. Have you played the new Pokemon, by the way? Do you know about this?
Nope.
Okay, so basically the way the Pokemon did it is that you know how like usually with Pokemon you have like tall grass and stuff to find Pokemon. Well, they have that, but they also have this like almost safari zone in the middle of the map. You know, probably it takes 1/3 of the map, right? That's how big the Safari Zone is. And you're forced to interact with the Safari Zone sometimes. Like, sometimes the story goes like, oh, go hang out in the Safari Zone for like 30 minutes or something and do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And explore new areas in the Safari Zone. But it's 1/3 of the map and they just force you to just like be in this open terrain and you just have fun in it. You know what I mean? Like, tons of little secret areas to explore, you know, trying to find where all the unique Pokemon are at. Have some like mini boss Pokemon that were fun because of the new Dynamax mechanics. You know, like it was just a good time overall, you know what I mean? And you can like
Breath of the Wild then?
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild Zone.
Yeah, like a Breath of the Wild zone. And then it was a nice
pellets.
Yeah. It was a nice break from like the regular Pokemon like stories where you know, you're going through the gyms, you're talking to the bad guys, you know what I mean, and you're fighting your rivals. And then you're the other alternative, which is like the regular wild finding Pokemon in the tall grass. You know what I mean? And you know sometimes in the tall grass, like the Pokemon would show up in the game, so you can see what Pokemon you're running into before like you run into it, or you would just get a random encounter. So I think it was nicely done. It was definitely closer to what I want. But once again, Pokemon, because it has so much potential to be something amazing, we're always just slightly disappointed, you know?
Always.
Always just slightly.
All right. Always want more.
But yeah, that's what I'm excited for. And of course, I'm always looking for any new, like, cool multi-game, multiplayer experience, you know? Hoping that we get an MMO that we can all play as, like, homies.
Come out during the quarantine, just, like, something hastily, just...
Well, a lot of developers know that if they hastily poop out a game, like, it's not really gonna go well. You know what I mean? Like, Cyberpunk, once again, was another example of a game hastily done, lots of potential.
Was it hastily done? It took them 2 years or something?
I know. No, it took them, like, 5 years? But, you know, you need at least another year of polish. Because, like, they may have released it and may have gotten critical acclaim, but you can't tell me that stuff ain't buggy. Like, that game is boogie. You know what I mean?
I've seen the videos.
Yeah, it is rough. You know what I mean? And so, like, you know, just, like, they just don't want to deal with that bad press. You know what I mean? I assume a lot of people are afraid. Some companies are not. You know what I mean? And that's the people who are releasing things like Cyberpunk and stuff like that. But, you know, It is what it is.
I mean, that's more of what is it? A developer integrity. Just to
Mm-hmm.
be like, is it ready? The answer is no, but we're gonna let it go anyway. But it's just like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is just like, I know that there have been a lot of things like, what were you interested? You were interested, what, Ashes of Creation or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Ashes of
And I know it
Creation.
was supposed to come out like last year or this year or something like that, and it
Yeah.
never did. Something happened.
They're just delayed. They're delayed indefinitely. They go, they're very transparent. Ashes of Creation. They do like a bunch of dev posts, and it's cool and all. But I know that game is never gonna come out. You know what I mean? I already accepted it. I sit here and I go like, oh, that looks cute. That's cool. You did a little battle royale thing to test your combat. Yeah. Cool. I'll see you in 20 years, and maybe not even then. You know what I mean? And we all know, like, when it comes out. And when it comes out, it's probably going to be a flop. You know what I mean? It's because I don't know how the MMO genre is going to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, what other games am I looking forward to? Like, Monster Hunter is getting a new game on the Switch. I'm like half excited for that because I really don't want to play Monster Hunter on the Switch. If I want to play Monster Hunter, I want to play it with my friends. I want to be on Discord with Tomo hunting monsters. I'm gonna be honest too, though. Monster Hunter was never a great game for multiplayer. Like, it's a very solo, pushy game. Even though it says it's a great multiplayer game on Steam itself, I really don't think so. Like, you can play with friends, you can carry your friends, but that's not playing with your friends. That's carrying your friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like a lot of incentive, like especially with the harder bosses. You know what I noticed about Monster Hunter? It was like, you would have an easier time fighting them solo. So I think that's the fucking problem. My bad. I think that's the problem is that, these games, they make it hard when there's more people. When it should be like, oh, you have more people? This game's easy. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's intentional. I think that's just a byproduct of how AI works. Like, because you say this, and it is exactly my sentiment on Vindictus. I know you didn't play it that much, but literally, the game was easier playing it solo because you could control aggro, you can control the direction, and you could react like appropriately. But the moment you have multiple people, the boss will turn away from you, and they will do some random attack that you weren't expecting, and you have to make sure, like, am I still in the hit range? Can I attack, or should I just back off? Like,
yeah,
you can't make the measured decisions anymore unless you're like super good at that raid or whatever. But
yeah, so
it's just really annoying.
I wish there was a game that was more built towards multiplayer. Like, Among Us was a good kick in 2020, right? I think Among Us is a good example of a game that was released that wasn't super buggy and like it was like completed, right? But at the same time, it wasn't complete. Does that make sense?
Well, it was quote unquote complete, but you could do more.
Yeah. It definitely needed more to be a better game, though. That's the big thing. And by the time like where we are now, like all the patches, they definitely fixed the game, and it's at its best point now. You know what I mean?
I haven't played.
Yeah. Well, it's just like they cleaned up a lot of like the voting, like in a game like that, it's like about information. Like I said,
have they patched out the have they patched out people like you?
No, they can never patch trolls out like me.
That's the best. I will never forget that time when I just murdered you, stood on top of your body, and just told everyone I'm the captain of this shit now. And Tomo managed to convince everyone not to vote for me. That was the greatest victory of my life, and I'm never playing that game ever again.
Yeah, you hold that to your chest, but that's what I'm hoping for, is that in 2021 we get another game that kind of pulls us all together to play again, you know what I mean? Where it's you, me, Tomo, a big group of people, or a small group, I want a game that's very flexible too, and so I'm just looking forward to it. I'm hoping like some things come out. You're never going to find like a good like online multiplayer from Nintendo. There's just no way. It's just because it's not a PC. We talk on PC,
Well, their focus is not on
it's
online distance. Their focus is on like local.
Yeah, local.
That's kind of what they've always been about.
Yeah. So it's fine. I'm not, like I said, I'm not pushing anything from Nintendo. So
Oh,
it's
I just
really,
realized Nintendo is you. They want to do party games the
yeah,
entire time. Have people gathered around.
yeah. It's really about, the people online, the people who upload to Steam. I'm looking and I'm hoping that something comes from that. You know what I mean?
All right.
So that's my most anticipated.
Anyway,
All right, we got about
yo,
5 minutes. What else
yeah,
do you want to quick talk about?
before you cut me off and dump me back into the cage in the basement,
Uh-huh.
I do want to ask, how was your update on your games? Because I know we have not talked about this in maybe a month since I last saw you.
Yeah, so I got some good news, got some bad news. So
Oh, wonderful! I love bad news.
let's do we'll do a quick recap. I have to complete the challenge for me when I moved up to Santa Cruz was I'll finish 4 games in 4 months. We're at the end of 2 months. That means I have to have 2 games done. I have 1 game done. It is
Is it profiled?
It is profiled. Profiled was the easiest, mainly because it had little work to do. It was we just did a clean rebalance of it. It actually feels really good now. Like I'm very happy with it. All I have to do is think about like how I want to place the art and how I want to present the game, and then that game is I'm ready to print that. You know what I mean? Like it is good and golden. 3 other games. Here we go. We're going to talk about Iron City. Iron City, the mistress that hurts every child that it ever meets. Oh my goodness.
Okay, don't call it a mistress and then say it hurts children.
Okay, so Iron City, I came up to Santa Cruz thinking that I had the right patch for it. So that's why I thought like, I can just throw in Iron City as a completed game in a month, right?
You made a terrible, terrible mistake.
Yes.
I still think that you should cannibalize the mechanics from old Hot Pot Hustle and just jam it in there. Like it was more in line with what your vision for Escape Iron City was than what you were doing with Escape Iron City before. But then again, I didn't see like the most recent patch, so I can't say for certain. But I'm giving you my opinion.
So basically, with Iron City, the rework that I had imagined for it, we tested it out. It works, but it doesn't. So it's just more information for me to build off of it to make a better version. So it's once again in the rebuild phase because I'm still looking to fix one of the major problems of Iron City that I've always had a problem with, which was just cleaning up how do I make someone get caught?
Yeah, the fact that it's terrible.
Yeah. Once I can answer that question, I'm good. I have a new idea. It's being implemented as we speak. Hot Pot Hustle is actually the most dangerous game right now because it's the game that I have no idea what I'm doing with. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. It's mainly because the iteration of Hot Pot Hustle that I presented to you, because it didn't feel like it worked out that well, actually when I was playing it, I wasn't very happy with it. I scrapped that whole idea and I have to come up with a fresh new idea. I like the concept.
You had a good concept. You created an entirely different game.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
The concept
you
is
created
still
Iron City in a different game.
The concept for Hot Pot Hustle is still an amazing game and can be an amazing game, but what is the game is the real question. And that's why it's the hardest. And then lastly, the game that I'm looking forward to because I get to start working on this game next month because I'm going to take a break from Hot Pot Hustle. Hot Pot Hustle gets put on the back burner. You know what I mean?
Oh baby.
Yeah.
Was that intentional? You to put it on the back burner?
Something. Yeah, exactly. No, Labyrinth is the big game that I finally get to attempt. And Gennifer, she always says like she's worried about Labyrinth, but I think Labyrinth is going to be the easiest game to make because it's so big, but it's so freeform that I can do whatever I want with it and be really experimentative, but it will work because it's so clean. You know what I mean?
The thing I will say about the difference between a worry about Labyrinth and a worry about Hot Pot Hustle. I'm worried about Hot Pot Hustle because I am not sure what you're going to do. You might not be able to make anything out of that idea. I'm worried about Labyrinth because you're very in danger of making a boring game.
Yes.
That's my worry because the kind of game that Labyrinth was before was that it was, it was an RPG. It could very easily fall into that rut of being just another lame RPG board game that doesn't really do much with the idea. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. And then there is one more thing, one more guy, and then we'll cut it off there. And next time we talk, we can talk about your game. But the last game, I've been thinking about this game, and I'm gonna give you the title of it, and I'll let you kind of mull it over.
No.
Are you ready for it?
No.
It's Murder Night House Party. I don't know what you take from that.
First of all, the name's stupid.
Oh, it's amazing.
The name's stupid, but I'm interested.
Yeah.
Murder Night House Party.
Yeah. So I was thinking about like how big I can make a game, and Murder Night House Party, that is what I'm going for.
Oh no.
Oh
no, you're going for scale. Oh no. Are we gonna play it at snowboarding?
So scale in terms of, yes, and like I might do it if I can't do anything for Hotpot, but scale not in terms of how big Labyrinth is. Does that make sense?
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's not going to be as big of a game as Labyrinth, but it is going to be big. Does that make sense?
Like multiplayer big or like...
No. The only way I can describe it is that it is going to be a big game, but it won't be big in the sense of how big Labyrinth is. Does that make sense? You're just going to have to find out at the snowboarding trip. All right, Bora. Thanks for joining me in the podcast.
I've never been so blue-balled and confused in my life.
We'll just look forward to it. I'll give you more details once it's more worked out. Just a little teaser right there for the people listening. All right. Thanks for listening.
Oh God, are you cyberpunking them?
Yes.
Are you cyberpunking them now?
Yes, I'm cyberpunking
give them a teaser for a game you're going to release in like 3 years, and it's going to suck.
I want to thank everybody for joining us, Bora. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I guess we're going to have you again so we can talk about your games.
Terrible.
Maybe in our next one, or maybe Jen. We'll see what happens. All right? Thanks, Bora. I'm going to let it go silent for a couple of seconds. I'll see you guys later. Bye.